Alright, here we are on the Info Wars. Canadian government to give $110 million plus to the 2SLGBTQI plus. One of the reasons I'm making this video is I didn't know about this 2SLGBTQI plus thing. So, anyway, let's get into it. The British possession of Canada shook up the LGBTQIA 2P plus. Again, that's different than the LGBTQ, and it's different than the 2S. I think that's Two Spirit acronym. It's like, are they the same organization, or are they all three different? I don't know. Acronym with the release of the 2022 Canadian budget, which allocated 150 million, 110 million to promote the homosexual agenda. Yep. By expanding equity groups such as the 2SLGBTQI. That sounds exactly like LGBTQI plus. They just tacked on 2S at the front. Now, in my opinion, and this is why I'm leery of the LGBTQIRS community, they keep changing their name, right? They want us to accept them for who they are, but they can't even figure out what they want to call themselves. They keep changing the name, they keep changing the flag. I think they changed the name because they keep incorporating new groups of people into their group. But still, make a name and stick with it. I want to say that I can't be bothered learning the new names because they take so long. But in actuality, what's the point in learning the new name? They're just going to change it in a little while anyway. In the key ongoing actions section of the document on page 229, the Canadian government is apparently building a gayer future, which is also inclusive of the 2SLGBTQIR people. Building a better and more inclusive future for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, LGBT, it's the same group. Transgender, queer, I thought queer was a bad word. Anyway, moving on. Intersex and additional sexual and gender diverse people. By investing nearly $150 million over 10 years to support Canada's first federal action plan, a whole of government approach to prioritize and sustain 2AS LGBTQ plus community action to advance and strengthen their rights at home and abroad, and to embed LGBT issues in the work of the Government of Canada. So it's pretty obvious that the government will throw money at the LGBTQ in Canada, but here's some of the money that's going overseas. LGBTQ plus international program to advance human rights and improve socio-economic outcomes for LGBTQ plus people in developing countries. Through this program, the government is providing $30 million in dedicated funding. You see right there, I would rather, as a taxpayer, I would rather that $30 million stay in Canada to help Canadian citizens. But instead, it's going abroad. Lovely. Dedicated funding over 5 years and $10 million every year thereafter. Lovely. In 2021, 2022, 23, 23, LGBTQI plus International Assistance Program funded 6 projects that help support human rights in 33 countries. $3.5 million to AUKUS to support 5 human rights organizations to advance the economic, political, and social empowerment of LGBTQ communities in Central America. Not Canada. $2.5 million to the APCOM Foundation to help local LGBTQ organizations throughout Southeast Asia. Also, not Canada. To improve their organizational capacity and support for local LGBT plus people. $1.6 million to the World Bank to support their work on LGBTQ plus inclusion. I didn't even know the World Bank was a thing, so I learned something new there. 1.1 million to ILGA World to advance their research and capacity building work in support of global LGBTQI movements. 450,000 for EGEDS to strengthen sexual and reproductive health and rights for LGBTQ plus women and girls. Sexual reproductive rights. Isn't that code for baby eating? I could be wrong. At a time of rising anti-LGBTQ plus hate around the world, these investments enable Canadian LGBT organizations to collaborate with partners in developing countries, support local organizations and equality movements, and invest in multilateral initiatives that contribute to policy, advocacy, and research. So, rising anti-LGBTQ plus hate. Well, in some places like the Middle East, they've always hated LGBTQ people. So, Palestine comes to mind. So, in this guy's opinion, whenever you have money going to all these little organizations all over the place, some money is going to disappear. It's going to slip through the cracks. And where does it go? Nobody knows. Anyway, that's my take on this. Well, take care out there in clown world.